Can I please welcome Angela Lucente, Emerald Director.
Well, could I ask for a better introduction? I think not. Killy Peddler, that's money in the bank for you. So hello everybody, how are we? Are you having a great weekend? Is this just not one of the most fabulous weekends on the Jeunesse Australasian calendar? Yes? I know I can see suitcases across the room, people are packed, checked out, you're ready to run home and build big, solid, amazing businesses. But before you do that, I hope you've got enough time to listen to the end of my presentation, because today's presentation for me is very personal, because I sat down and thought about what I really wanted to share with the audience and really thought about where the market is at. Because in anything we do in life, you can only start where you're at. Who wants to be a diamond? But are you starting as a diamond? No. You're starting where you're at. That's where you want to be. So where we're at right now is the reality of this room here in Australia, on the Gold Coast. And, you know, when we walked in the room yesterday, I heard a lot of people talking about, gee, you know, there's not many people here. A lot of people have gone to other events this weekend, maybe in Hong Kong to the university. Some people have decided not to come. But you can only start where you're at. And right now, there are maybe 200 absolutely amazing people in this room. And are you ready to learn a little more? Yes, fantastic. So I'm ready to teach you about what I feel matters most when you're building a Jeunesse business, because we are building long term. In fact, I wrote it on my hand. I loved it. This morning, I think it was Kathy that said, the long game. Was that you, Kathy? No, it was Paula. The long game. I loved that. It really appealed to where I'm at and where I've been in my business. And I showed Chris Cooper the first slide and I said, I think I'm on the money today. I've picked the right topic. So I'm going to share with you in no particular order, and some of these things might appeal to you more than others, and you can prioritize them yourself in what's important to you. So I'm going to start with what matters most to me, and that is your why. Your why matters because in everything we do in life, it's like the passport. It's how you reach your goal. Your why is what always keeps you on track. It's the you factor. It's what makes it personal to you, because we build this business with so many other people, so many personalities, and if you're leading a team, what you really need to do is focus and engage on what people want. That's the you factor. So you really need to be, you need to be really transparent with that and make sure that you know exactly why you're doing this. What was the reason that you joined Jeunesse? What excited you? Never forget your why. Your reason for joining this business may evolve. It may change as you move through the journey, but your reason is what will keep you on track. And don't ever sell out on that. You know, when Killy, I was listening behind stage earlier when Killy was talking about, you know, the last 6 years for me. You know, 6 years ago I sat in a room right at the back, probably similar numbers to this in Sydney, and I knew my why. I knew exactly, you know, why I needed to do this business. I mean, back then, I was at the top of my field with another company in the party plan industry, earning a six-figure income very comfortably as a work-from-home mum. But what I didn't have was the freedom and the power to choose what I wanted to do every day. I was locked in. I was locked into a compensation plan that meant I had to chase end of month. I had to chase sales. And yes, I was a very good sales girl, but I didn't want to be, you know, a 60-something-year-old sales girl still trying to chase my income the same way. So I put my first stamp in that business passport. And I knew exactly why I was doing this, and it was to create freedom for me and to create freedom for my family. The next thing that matters most is your story. Your story matters. So make sure that you have your story written down, You know how to not just read it off a piece of paper, but you know how to share it. Record yourself, send it to other people, get feedback. Your story is critical to the engagement that you create with people that you meet. Because when you can learn to share your story through conversation, because you're not going to stand up and talk to someone that you meet and share a 2 or 3 minute story and have them not say anything, because then you're just being rude, right? No one wants to listen to someone talk for that long. So you need to learn how to share your story in a conversational way. So it's going to take a lot of practice and it's going to get you out of your comfort zone. But your story is what really matters when you're trying to build rapport and relationships, and also learn about the people that you're talking to, because questions are where the answers are at. If you can really ask the right questions to get the answers that you need to understand what that person wants, and you can do that when you're sharing your story in a conversational way. So your story is it's a combination of where you were, how you found Jeunesse, what you loved about it, what excited you about it, why you decided to join. So that's the previous what matters most. And the most important part is your vision. Because although a lot of those previous things, are important, your vision is what keeps you going. Your vision in your story keeps evolving, and you keep sharing that because your vision will change as your journey changes. What about relationships? How many people in this room have made a new friendship over this weekend? Yes? Okay, what if we go out into the real world as of tomorrow and make a pact to, make sure that relationships matter, not just for business, okay, but for your life. I'm a very curious person by nature, so I develop relationships very quickly, very naturally, and I do that by engaging and asking lots of, questions. My husband says that this was a business purpose built for me, because I just love to talk and find information out about people and hear their story. So people matter in this business. Okay, we join other personalities. We're often drawn to people that may be a little bit like us. So, I'm not going to say you go out and lie, but you can cheat a little bit. When you make enough a conversation with someone and learn a bit about themselves, about that person, you can then draw from your own experiences to create that rapport. And that's when that person might see you as someone that they could forge a relationship with. And that's how you can really build that bond with people that are coming into your business through curiosity. I talk about building real relationships. This is an industry at the moment that really has a high level of influence on social media. And one of the things that really kind of disturbs me is the perception, and how easily perception can be manipulated on social media. And I love that we can use it to influence, but I also worry about the fact that there are so many people out there that are using it in the wrong way. So real relationships is when you take that conversation off social media, offline. You meet people for a coffee. If they don't live near you, you could meet them on a Zoom call or a Skype and have a coffee in that way. But I love doing that with people that I meet through these platforms. And what I love is that I can then truly and genuinely understand whether that person is real, and whether what I'm seeing on Facebook or Instagram is also real, because there are a lot of fake relationships out there. Has anyone had one of those? Yes? I think that should be a new word in the dictionary. I also think when we're dealing with people that, we have to be very careful that we don't always think about money. When we first start in this business, it's quite easy to get caught up in looking at people and summing them up very quickly in whether or not they'll be good in my business. People do it whether you like it or not. When you're trying to build a business, it's quite easy to do. So my lesson in this business, in direct sales, was always to take the money off the table. Because if you can take the money off the table and you like what you see, you can really build a strong bond with that person. But if you're just having these conversations and doing it because you feel that that person can add money to your business, it's never going to last long term. Because when the money doesn't come, that person's going to be out of there in no time. very, very quickly. So relationships matter, people matter. When you take the money off the table and what's left, that's what's most important. Make sure that as important as your why is to you, their why is to them. So you need to uncover what matters most to them, their why, as quickly as possible. And sometimes that's difficult to do, but it'll only happen when you can have really genuine conversations online and also offline. You know, what about socializing? You know, socializing, you don't make money from socializing, do you? But it makes you feel good. You know, people come to these events because they love the way it makes them feel. I've had so many of our team and members come up over this week and say, I'm so glad I came to this event. I'm feeling so great about this business, about this company, the vision, where we're going. I mean, the social experience that comes from this industry, from network marketing, it matters. And where you get it mostly is through events. Meetings. Meetings matter. Prioritize the meeting system that you can engage in where you live, whether that is corporate events, team events, online events. If you live remotely, I know a lot of the teams, as do corporate, run events online through GoToWebinar, through Zoom calls. I mean, these are all the platforms where you and your team can really capture that social experience, really get to know people, and really build those relationships. So you need to lead by example, by planning planning for these meetings and events ahead of time. So my diary, my calendar has all of the events for the whole year in Australasia, Australia, New Zealand. Plus I might have a few international trips in there as well as the main corporate events. And it's my job as an active leader to make sure that everyone in my team is on board with these meetings and understands the importance of them. The importance is not just monetary. The importance is emotional. It's mindset, it's belief, it's all of these things that we've been hearing about, because you will not find a better platform than a team meeting or a corporate event for people to really have all of that come together in one moment. It also helps to create accountability when people are looking out for each other at events. You know, I'm seeing some of the team sending lots of messages. We're meeting up here, we're having a drink here, we're having a coffee here, we're going out tonight. I love the accountability that comes from the social experience, because relationships really matter. It's where you will also understand the credibility of the industry through these meetings. You know, you may not believe in yourself at first, but when you go to these meetings and you hear the leaders sharing their stories, and even at this event, I've really loved, you know, hearing from the people that are working at ground floor level, like the Sarahs and Jackies and Emily Fu that's coming out shortly, talking about their stories. This really creates credibility from the ground up. And we can aspire to be like some of the people that we're, you know, watching on stage and hearing their stories of achievement and success as well. What about the customer experience? And quite often people separate the products from the business, but for me, always, from the moment I joined Jeunesse, I knew that the products were the absolute glue to this business. It's the absolute glue to the company. You do not become a billion-dollar brand in 6 years without having a product that people want to keep buying. Because I can tell you, as a very successful salesperson, I can sell anything once. Would you buy something once from me? Who'd buy something from me? Chris would, everyone would. But would you buy it again if it didn't work? If it didn't give you a great experience? If it didn't taste good? If it didn't feel good? We have some of the best transformational products in our industry. Transformational, think about that. We can turn someone into the $6 million man or Wonder Woman. You know, this is an experience that people get to feel, touch, smell, see in the mirror. You know, they see a transformation also of their confidence. How many people stood on this stage this weekend and said, I could never have done this before? So through our products, our products that we see in the back office shop, people can have that transformation. But also, we have a product with the business and the opportunity, because people have transformational change in the way they feel about themselves and the way they can then go out to the world and project themselves as a human being and as an ambassador of Jeunesse and these amazing products. So I really love that the products give real people real stories to go out and share, because after all, this is a word of mouth business. This business happens by one conversation over and over and over again. Would you agree with that? Yes, so we need to have more of these conversations. And again, when you're building a big team and you're only leading with the money, when the money doesn't happen as fast as some people want, and let's face it, a lot of people come into our business and they don't have the time to stay into this long game, to build long term. So when the money doesn't appear, what do? They leave. If they don't have an affiliation with the products, if they don't have that transformation, that story that they can share, and a story that they love about the products, they will leave and they will never buy your products again. And that's not a business. That's not what I joined Jeunesse for. I joined Jeunesse first and foremost because I had this dream about having this automated online shopping business where everyone was just buying their products when they needed them, and I didn't have to go out into the lounge rooms and kitchens of the women of Australia. And before I got there, they had to clean their whole house and spring clean and make a cup of tea and coffee and biscuits, and it was crazy. This way of selling product. I saw this new age of business, an automated system. I just had to be the first person to share these amazing products and then make sure that these products worked. And I still remember going home telling my husband, I just hope to God that these products are just half as good as they sound, because Lyndon Bienoff made them sound like they were unbelievable. So half as good would have done it for me. I would have been happy with that. So let's talk about keeping things simple and complication in life. Lots of things in life are simple, but as humans have it, we overcomplicate it through our beliefs of how things should be. We overcomplicate this business because we start training and reading and listening, and all of a sudden that natural touch and flair we had for this business turns into some crazy system, rigid system that you've got to follow, and then it doesn't seem natural anymore, and you're not getting the results that you used to get when you were actually ignorance on fire. When I started Jeunesse, I had never done network marketing. I'd been a people person in my career for over 20 years, so I understood how to engage and build relationships. So I just came in and did that. And I did it with a world-class company and world-class products. And I knew if those products worked, that I could build something really special. Don't overcomplicate. We have systems. We have great leadership. We might have different leadership for different teams in this room, but we all have great leadership. Choose your pace that you want to go out in your business. Not everyone has to be the same. If you're only doing 2 contacts a day, that's fine for you. If you want to do 10 contacts a day, that's your choice to do that. Choose your pace, but do it consistently and do it with action. Create that duplication of a simple system that anybody can do. I often talk about making things look effortless. If I can make this business look effortless, if I can have anybody look at me and say, I can do what she's doing, then I'm building this right. Because confused people don't make decisions. When I used to sell retail, if I confused a customer, she would walk out and buy absolutely zero. Okay, I don't want to confuse people. I want to keep things simple. What do they need? What have I got that's going to help them with that? If it's just one product, then do that. If it's the business, then do that. If it's all of it, then do that. You've got to meet people where they're at, and don't complicate the journey along the way. When we think about the personal development that comes with this industry, for me, it's one of the greatest gifts that we have. I mean, honestly, the growth that I've seen some of my team members, the journey that they've gone on to become the people that they have today, the leaders. Some of them, and I'll talk about Kerry Carline. I'm so proud of this girl, mum of 5, yesterday, Friday night, in fact, leading the Zenergize. What an incredible effort. I loved seeing that video of you up there, Kerry. I'm so proud of you. This woman has never missed a reward trip because she went on her first one, Prague and Budapest, and she said to me, I'm never going to miss one of these trips again. So she just runs a simple business and she keeps learning. She engages in the system and also understands the journey of an entrepreneur. Did I say that right, Lyndon Binoff? Do you know, I started this industry, I couldn't even say that word. I used to say entrepreneur. Lyndon made me stand up at a Sapphire Leaders Retreat and he made me say it out loud in front of 200 people and I could not say the word entrepreneur. I can say that now. Not bad from a girl from the working class suburbs of Melbourne. How do you stay stimulated? Yes, we have lots of people around us, our team, our leaders, coming to these events, but you need to keep your mind stimulated. Never stop learning. There is so much free stuff. And I'm going to say that again. There's so much free stuff. Have you heard of Google? Go Oogle, go Ogle, go Ogle. Everyone heard of Google? Go Google. I love Google. I have actually never paid for any kind of training. Some of you may agree that that's a good thing. Some might think that's a bad thing. But I think I'm not doing too badly. I've got access to multiple 7-figure income earners, incredible corporate team. I learn from everybody. I learn from people I enroll on their very first day. I stay humble. You can learn from every single person you meet. Personal development is a unique feature of our business and our industry. And if you can keep improving just that 1% of a time, imagine where you'll be in 12 months, in 2 years, in 3 years. The learning that goes on in this business are the stamps in that passport. That passport you started when you put together your why, and then you put your first stamp with your story. Every other stamp that follows is because of the learning you've done, the development and the way you're growing as a person, your mindset, your belief. All of this matters. So let's talk about money. Yeah? Everybody loves to make money. Come on. I loved making money in the corporate world. Working in the corporate industry really toughened me up. I had to fight my way to the top, fight my way to that promotion, but I could never earn more than a 6-figure income. And, I thought I was better than that. And when Lyndon Binoff said to me, what's your fair market worth? I thought it was 6 figures annually. And that's all I wanted from this business. So when you meet someone for the first time and you ask them, what do you think you're worth? And they tell you, I'd like to earn $500 a month. Be humble, because that's where that person's at. Show them how to earn that money. It doesn't matter how they start. Small amounts matter. I remember my first team commission, $35. I couldn't even buy a meal in Melbourne for that. I think not even a good steak costs more than $35. But I was so happy because it showed me that the system worked. So money is important. Small amounts consistently. But you need to create a money system for your team, showing them how they can do that. If you can duplicate a money system where people can really understand how the 6 different streams of income work, the residual streams at one end, the upfront at the other end, obviously the residual income is going to take a lot longer. But what buys people time in this industry? If they can see consistent income flowing through in upfront money. And every now and then, they're going to have a little bit of residual. So it's going to be upfront, a little bit of residual. That's going to work for most people. And most people is what's going to build your business over time. It's those people that you take on that journey. We have so many ways to create money in Jeunesse. 6 different income streams, preferred customer, retail margin, sign-up bonuses. Those 3 income streams are important for a new person to understand. If you focus on the binary, left team, right team, leaders match, you could confuse people. And remember what I said to you earlier, confused people, they don't get to work, they don't make a decision. They spend the next 2 months trying to figure out what a cycle is, what's left and right. Let's meet people where they're at. I'm not saying everybody is like that, but everybody needs to see how the whole compensation plan works. We also have ways for people to make money faster. When we have our cash bonus promotions, this is an opportunity for you to put things on overdrive. Who's won a cash bonus in this room? It's quite a few people. How exciting is that? 1,000, 2,000, 6,000. I think there's some people in the room that have won up to $15,000 when we had the Step Up to Sapphire programs. And I know this is something the company will repeat with their promotions. What about reward trips? That may not look like money, but what would have cost you to go on that trip? You think about the money attached to someone winning a trip to Athens. What would it have cost to book that hotel, go on those excursions? You get most of your meals paid for, you get a little bit of spending money. I mean, what would that have cost that person? That's money in the bank. So making money matters, but meet people where they're at and show them how to create income that matters to them. I love to travel. Lifestyle experiences for me are the biggest driver in my business. I haven't missed a trip since I started in Jeunesse. I calculated that I've been on 15 free trips since I started in this business. These are trips that my husband and I had been saving for our golden years, you know, when we retire and we had enough time to go on those trips. But now with Jeunesse, we're being rewarded 3 times a year. Leaders Retreat, Lifestyle Experience, Expo. There are 3 trips a year that you can all qualify for, no matter what level you're at. In other companies, you have to achieve a certain target. In Jeunesse, anybody can do this. So this is part of your system for making money, but also it's creating a lifestyle expectation, because once people go on these trips once, they will always want to go on these trips, and they'll do everything they can. Celebrate the small wins. Everybody loves a celebration. Yeah? Have you ever been to a restaurant and there's maybe, 30 tables in the restaurant, all different people, all having their own little conversations, and all of a sudden a birthday cake comes out. What does everyone do? Happy birthday, right? You get it? How many times have you sang happy birthday for someone you don't even know? Right? Celebrate the wins. This is a feel-good part of the business, and it matters. Small wins matter. And this can be a win that is not about money. It could be someone's enrolled their first person. It could be someone's upgraded to a business pack. It could be someone's had their first team commission. It doesn't matter how small or large your wins are. Accomplishments need to be acknowledged. You do it as a team. We do it through the corporate system with our Jeunesse Australasia page, but also at team level, it's important to recognise what people are accomplishing in their business. This really creates a culture at a whole new level. It becomes emotional. It becomes really special for people to applaud each other in their teams. You know, you have income, you have lifestyle, and it's another way to share more stories. If you can create stories that keep getting shared across the world from Jeunesse, product, lifestyle, industry, income, business, all of these stories matter at some time or other, because when you meet that person that you ask all those questions to and you can understand their hotspot, one of these stories is what's going to help you engage with that person. So I get to the very last thing that matters most. And this is a really important thing for me, because 6 years in my business, and as you heard Killy say earlier, I went emerald very fast. In fact, in the space of 16 months, And in the last 3 months of that period, I went elite, ruby, emerald. Crazy, right? For someone that had never ever built a network marketing business. But the question I get asked the most from a lot of people who are in the industry, out of the industry, family is, so when are you going diamond? Are you still an emerald? And they raise their eyebrows like there's something wrong with that. But let me tell you, when you really understand the journey of an entrepreneur and the way this industry really develops people and prepares them for what's ahead, you will understand that that is not what's important. For me, the most important thing is what you focus on. And I've never taken my focus off the fact that I want freedom. I want to be able to make choices every day based on what matters most for me and my family. And I can do that every day. I can do it as an emerald. I could do it as a ruby. And I'll well and truly do it when I go diamond. So the distractions, the white noise, the people that raise their eyebrows, it's all part of the journey. But you focus on what you need to see. What you focus on grows. So if you focus on that part, you're going to be in a fairly dark place very quickly. But I've always stayed above that because it didn't matter. It didn't matter what my rank was because I never came into this business to be a title. I came into this business to be a better version of myself. And I know that everyone in this room can walk out of this weekend and be a better version of themselves. Obstacles and challenges are a given in our business. This industry is full of them. People will come, people will leave, people might even come back. But in my business, I don't worry about who's leaving. I call it bless and release. I want people to be happy. Would you believe that in my time, in 6 years in Jeunesse, how many of my direct upline do you think are still actively building in my business? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of my direct upline are no longer building in my business, actively. I had plenty of opportunity to quit. Like the first one didn't work, my sponsor. She's actually earning an amazing income, and she's just retired here on the Sunshine Coast, and I love that. That's the fairy tale of our industry. I talk to her regularly, and I love what this business and what I've been able to help her do. Second one, retired. Third one, gone. Fourth one, gone. Fifth one, gone. Does that matter to what I'm doing in my business? My why at the beginning didn't say, I will build this business to create freedom as long as my sponsor is building, as long as her sponsor is building, as long as his sponsor is here forever holding my hand, I'm going to build this. Because you know what? When I started Jeunesse, I didn't even know any of those people very well. I've forged relationships, I've built great friendships, but I'm building this business for my family. So the takeaway I want for you is to understand the biggest commitment that you must keep is the one that you've made to yourself. The person that you see in the mirror when you leave and go home after this event is the only person that matters. And that is the person that has the most power in your life in anything you do. Whether that's relationships, family, career, income, any decision you make, it's up to you to make the best decision for you. Don't let anybody steer you off track. Don't let anybody distract you from achieving your dreams and your vision. Keep it crystal clear. Guys, I hope that you take away even just one little thing of what matters most, because all of this is relevant to where all of you are today, and it's always a privilege to be up here chatting and sharing all of this with you. Thank you.